is Kara from iStampin.com, and today we're making this card. I'm going to be using two stamp sets, the Teeny Tiny Wishes and the Papillon Potpourri. This card was inspired from a design that I saw on Pinterest, so I wanted to give it a shot. These are the three colors I'm going to be using on the card. I'm going to be using Early Espresso, Crumb Cake, and Rich Razzleberry. I'm also using the cut and ready card bases in Crumb Cake, and so I've cut a smaller panel to go on top. It's a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay, I'm starting with Crumb Cake, and I've created a mask to mask off just a small section of script text that I'm going to be stamping. And it's really easy to make a mask like this. I used my Stampin' Trimmer. I measured out the rectangle, the window that I wanted to be able to stamp the script on, and then I just took that piece of Post-it note pad paper and just put it in my Stampin' Trimmer, just brought the blade down with using the ruler and just cut out that window. It's very easy. So I'm using Crumb Cake, using this stamp. This is a retired stamp. I don't have a text stamp for the look that I was going for, so I had to use what I had on hand. I do recommend, if you are wanting to replicate this kind of look, there are two stamp sets that I found in the annual catalog that would be perfect choices. One is the script stamp from the By the Tide set, or the other choice would be the dictionary background stamp. I think they'll give you the look that I have here. And as you can see there on the bottom left, I didn't get a really good impression, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to be using my Stamp-A-Majig, which is my go-to tool all the time. I highly recommend this tool if you don't have it in your supplies. It's really simple to use. So what I've done is I used my Elegant Butterfly Punch to punch out the butterfly so I can get good placement for the smaller butterflies that are going to go on either side. And I'm going to be using my Stamp-A-Majig. What I did is just stamp the image onto the carrier sheet, and then you place that on the front of your card to get good placement. And then you use the T-square, you put it on the corner of the carrier sheet, and then just stamp the image. And don't move that T-square until you're sure that you have a good impression, because if you don't, then you can just stamp again. Because I didn't do that the first time, and I had to turn over the cardstock and start over again. That's the great thing about the Stampin' Up! Cardstock, is that it's thick enough that if you make a mistake, you can just flip it over. Okay, now I'm going to be using the Stamp-A-Majig again to stamp my sentiment from Teeny Tiny Wishes, this Thinking of You. This is such an awesome stamp set, a staple in anybody's supply or inventory. I use the stamp set over and over and over again. I'm going to be stamping the large butterfly in Rich Razzleberry, and you will see that I actually do go and get another color after I stamped in the Rich Razzleberry on this piece of Crumb Cake cardstock. It was pretty, but I just wanted to compare it to Blackberry Bliss and see which one I preferred, which I did go with the Blackberry Bliss. This is a new in color for 2013-2015, and I'd have to say this is probably my favorite color. It stains your fingers, so be prepared for that, but other than that, it's a great color, and it's easy to come off your hands. So I'm just going to punch this out again with using the Elegant Butterfly Punch, just lining it up, making sure that I don't cut off a portion of its wing. Okay, I punched it out. I'm going to be using glue dots to the middle of the body to adhere the butterfly to the front panel, which will allow me to lift the wings up to give it some dimension. And you'll see that the small butterflies don't really line up perfectly, but you know, you just kind of have to go with it. So here I'm putting the glue dots on there. About 2 or 3 is all you need. So that looks good. So now I will get my Stampin' Dimensionals and just cover the back panel. As you can see, that was my first attempt. And I'm not stingy with Stampin' Dimensionals. They're an inexpensive adhesive. So I like to cover when I'm popping something up, I really like to cover it so that there's not sections that sag. So I just say go for it. I think they're pennies a piece. So just peel off all the backing sheets, and then I adhere it to the front panel. And something that I did, a couple of things that I didn't videotape that I recommend to all of my customers is I took the large butterfly and I stamped it a few times on the inside of the card, just gives it some interest. And then I also stamped the large butterfly on the front of the envelope. Just think it's a nice finished look, and I think it must be fun to open up the mailbox and see a pretty envelope. Thank you for watching. This is my first video. I hope I did an okay job. Leave comments. Let me know if there's anything I need to improve on. But I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Thank you. Bye.